At shortstop and second base, is it okay to use a single post web? To figure it out today, we're gonna be using this PB Pro. It's 11.5 inches, single post. It's got like the braid through it. Personally, I think it looks awesome. This is steer hide leather. I'll talk about the glove a little bit as we do it, but we also just wanna know, does it make sense to use this for middle infield? Just a side note, this glove is really hard to break in, but I have a lot of positive things to say about it, so stay tuned. Let's actually go take some ground balls. So why wouldn't a shortstop or a second baseman wanna use this web? Typically, a third baseman is gonna be using it, and it's because it's got a deeper pocket to it. And that's gonna help third because basically, almost a home run. A deeper pocket at third is nice because it's a little bit more comfortable. You get some really, really hot shots at third. And so if you're going 2 in the pinky and have a deep pocket, when you catch the ball, it just sinks back there and it's like you don't even feel it. As great as that is, at shortstop and second, you need to have a feel on the ball so that you can have quicker transfers, whether it's a throw that you're receiving or just a ground ball. The whole point is we need to get the ball to first. Not all cross webs are designed the same. Some are much, much deeper than others. This web, for example, is so shallow that it actually feels, whoo, that took a weird hop, great for shortstop or second. I'm going 2 in the pinky and it still feels shallow enough to where I would use it. This is a laced cross web, and I honestly think it adds a little bit of stiffness just because the laces are there, which would help keep it a little bit more shallow. If you've seen a Wilson EL3 before, those get super deep. I actually tried gaming one of those at shortstop or second, like my sophomore year of high school. I just ended up selling it because I couldn't do it. Everything I caught was sinking so far back in the glove. I have to mention that I just love the transfers on this glove. Super quick, super smooth. And so Ron Washington is one of the guys who helped like design this glove. You don't really have to know who he is, just know he's like an infield defensive coach. His big thing is that you're supposed to be catching and transferring off the palm at any time possible. So if you're reaching out, you clearly just have to catch the ball like this. But if it's in front of you, you don't have to close your glove. It's just boom, go. The palm feels much more open and it feels like really quick, easy transfers. There's a lot of other gloves that are just like that, but some gloves are a little bit more narrow. And I'm just not a huge fan of that because it's just a little bit harder for transfers. All right, so back to the web. For middle infielders, a flatter cross web, better. If you see it sinking back, like in pictures online a bunch, it just means it's really deep. It's not impossible to use, but typically you would want something a little bit more shallow for the reasons we've already said. In all honesty, I'm really liking this glove now that we're taking ground balls with it. I just kind of thought so-so of it before. I'm excited to talk about this a little bit. I have already approved of the leather on this glove. That's not a problem at all. So the next biggest thing is how it's actually shaped. And as I said, it is beautiful. I'm wearing this glove 2 in the pinky. If I wasn't, I would call it like a small to medium pocket. I'm wearing it 2 in the pinky, medium pocket. The fingers on this glove are kind of naturally straight. They don't curl in a ton. And then the thumb and the pinky, I flared them personally. Obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, but these thumb and pinky inserts, super stiff, but they hold their positions super well. As always, I'm not paid to say anything, but PB Pro, you guys are doing good. I give it a big thumbs up. Not everything is perfect on the glove though. For example, the palm liner on this glove isn't exactly the best. It's not horrible, but it's just not exactly super comfortable. It's thinner and hard. It might be the same leather as the rest of the glove. I'm not 100% sure. It's not a huge detail, but just so you know. I mentioned the stingers before. I was getting a lot of those during like the break-in process with the glove, but as it's going on, like during my fielding, I didn't get it. As you break your glove in, those should happen less and less. But I kind of want to wrap up what I was saying about the single post webs. Ultimately, any position can use a single post web, and that's proven by the guys in the MLB. We've seen it at second, short, and third. So much of it comes down to style. If you think it looks cool, get it. The web does make a difference, but ultimately the biggest difference comes with how you actually break it in. To those of you who are actually shopping online, just don't forget to pay attention to the single post web. How much is it bulging out, or how shallow is it? That's giving you a better idea if it's for third base or shortstop second. You just gotta pay attention. But I'm pleasantly surprised, and the leather on this glove actually kind of reminds me of the leather on my yabai. This is my Japanese infield glove, and it's interesting because this web is never considered an infield web, but in Japan it is. So go check out my video because I'll kind of explain why.